Alright, what is up, guys? So, today is going to be the first episode, um, like an intro of what project that I want to build today. So, I got the project in mind of what project I want to build. Before I get into that, though, I want to mention that I woke up this morning, and when I get up, I always check my email, right? So I checked my email, and I discovered something very interesting. For one, I am subscribed to Flavio. I think I said that wrong. Flavio Copes. I could be pronouncing his name wrong. I'm so sorry if I am. Let me see. Let me see. Um, Flavio. Flavio Copes, right? I'm subscribed to his newsletter. So I got a newsletter. I got a message saying that he started, well, I'm pretty sure he's making more courses, but he started a full stack React, GraphQL, um, Node and Express series that he's doing. So it's called Zero to App from Scratch. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but it's on his he talks about it on his website, and he talks more in detail about it if you subscribe to his newsletters and whatnot. So I got an email about that, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, because he makes great tutorials. All his tutorials that he makes are fantastic. His content is so clear and understandable. It's like ridiculous. And I was reading on his idea, like his purpose of the Zero to App from Scratch. His idea was similar to mine, which I had no idea that he thought of that idea already. But the idea to document all of your code that you do. So everything you see basically is you see all the, well, what I call it is that you see all the struggles. So from his perspective, you documentate all of it. He goes from the not just straight to the editor. He actually goes like from scratch. He does the markup. He does the little thinking map for you to, like, think through what layout is going to do what functionalities is going to have what. So and that's the kind of the idea that I was going for. The only difference is that I was thinking more so of just getting directly into the code, and then having you guys see like my whole documentation on how I code and search for problems, and the tools I use to learn a language, and reading up on thousands of documentations that we need to learn and whatnot. So that's what I was doing. And then I got inspired reading his post. I'm like, oh, so he's doing that too. He's already doing it. So it was awesome. So I looked up his videos, because he only got 14 videos right now on YouTube on his Zero to App. So he has that on YouTube, and I was looking through some of the videos, and that I noticed that he goes through the whole process, the whole process of drawing out the layout to get like a good understanding, get a good visual of what the layout is going to look like. He draws out a little bit of which component is going to do what, and then he goes into a mind map, and then he talks about the concept of the whole app, and what are the key concepts that are like the main functionalities of the app and whatnot. So that's where I am so far in the series of watching it, and I thought that was a fantastic idea. I wasn't even actually thinking about, like I said, I wasn't even actually thinking about doing like that. I was thinking about just getting into the code, and then have you see everything starting from the code. I wasn't even thinking about the whole process, like drawing it out, mapping out what the layout would look like, get the details of what functionality, what component is going to do what in terms of functionality and everything. So, he was doing the whole shebang, and I got inspired. I got inspired because um, that that is like one of the main reasons why I want to have this channel as well, is to have that type of coding channel to where you can actually see everything. You can documentate everything. You can learn exactly how the developers do it, and see all, like I said, see all the struggles that a developer goes through every day when it comes to building these projects. And I just wanted to um, give a quick little shout out and everything. Like, he's awesome, and I love his idea. I didn't know that he already thought of that. So I want to build upon that. I want to do that same thing with my channel. I want to have that same type of flow going for my channel, and I hope it that it helps, because his channel was like awesome. Even the few videos that I did watch, it was just amazing. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, I want to go ahead and give a quick little intro of what I want to build, and some of the tools that we're going to be using um, throughout the process of us building this project. So I thought of an idea, right? It's a small one. It's not too complex, but it's something that we can work with. Something we can get into doing the full stack and whatnot. I also got the full stack idea from also Flavio. I really hope I'm saying his name right. Flavio. When because he's doing a full stack using the React and GraphQL, and I just recently, actually I think it was about either a couple weeks ago or a month ago, got into wanting to learn how to do GraphQL. So I currently don't really know how to do it. I mean, I watched a few videos, but I'm still like, I really don't really know how to work it. I'm pretty sure it's simple though, but we're gonna be looking through on how we can get through that. Yeah, so I got this app idea, right? And it's called, actually it's quite similar to EverNote. Actually, it is EverNote. So let me not say it's my idea. It's basically, I got an idea of what I want to build. All right. So the app that I want to build is like a note manager app. I know you're probably thinking that, but it got different features in it that I want to implement. That's similar. That's the features that I want to implement is kind of it's not really that complex, but it might not be complex for you guys, but it's probably really complex for me, because some of these features I don't know how to do right now. Like, as we speak, I don't know how to do. I would have to Google all of it, and you'll see me Google all of it because I don't know half the features on how to do it. But I want to make a app that's similar to EverNote, right? So I'm on the EverNote site. I'm gonna log in because I created an account like months ago, but I never used it because I thought, I don't know, just in my mind it wasn't fancy enough for me. So it's, just the reasons that I was using it were not for good reasons. I needed something a little bit more sophisticated, I guess. And EverNote is kind of sophisticated, but it's simple at the same time. And it wasn't the type of app that I was looking for months ago, so I didn't use it. But I do have an account on it. So I'm going to sign in. Which one did I use? Okay. Okay, use this one. Different one. I don't have an account with that one. Hold on. Sign in. I thought I used this account. Did I not? Yeah, that could be my username. Is it? Really? Okay, see, this is a first because I was just playing around with it. Hold on. Let's see here. Is it Dev Lady Killer? Is it my oh, it's Dev Lady Killer. Okay, so it's my YouTube Gmail. I didn't know. Okay. So I logged in. You guys don't have to do none of this. I'm just showing you like what the app looks like and what I want to implement and all that stuff. So you don't have to download any of this stuff. It takes a minute. Getting that loaded. What? I thought I already did this. Okay. Whatever. Free. Okay. Alright. So don't mind none of this stuff. I was just writing some stuff down to get my head cleared off. But, to even make that more, like, don't let that distract you. Hold on. Let me delete that. Delete note. Alright, so this is how I want the app to look like. So we got our basic, just looking at the UI, not the functionality, just looking at the UI. We got a panel here for all the notes, right? So all the notes will come down here, and then this is the main, this whole big screen right here is the main text editor. Okay, so this will all the good stuff will happen. This part right here, you're just listing all the notes and whatnot. You got a few elements up at the top that I might want to implement. When it comes to the notes on being on the side, you got the option to sort the notes, so that could be a feature to have a sort functionality to it. What is this? More. What is that? Coming soon. Okay, so that's coming soon stuff. I don't know what that is. But then you got the filter by the tag. I still don't know how to put tags on here or any of that. Yeah, I don't know how you would put tags on there. I'm not sure. But you got these little features that you can do according to the list. Like you can, organize and all that stuff. So that's a little bit of features. But the main two layout components basically is the side note and the editor, right? So this editor part, we're gonna have we're gonna be able to create tags. Okay, there it is. I just saw it. So this is how you add tags to it. We can probably implement that. Bring that little thing back up. There we go. We got our basic formatting styles button up here that you can edit the text in colors and fonts and all that stuff, edit to the text. So we'll be able to get that done. That's like the main functionality, actually. That's like the editor is like the main one. So this big editor, and then the side menu side menu notes here. Okay, so that's what we need to work on, right? So that's my idea on what type of app that I want to build. I probably should mention. Now the creating the notes and whatnot, we can probably, because I don't see a create button, and I don't want to really implement this sidebar right here. Oh, there's a plus to add a new note. With this feature, it kind of looks similar to it kind of looks like a materialize type feature, because I've seen this type of sidebar in material UI. Yeah, I've seen that type of feature here, but I don't know if I want to implement all of this right here. I think I just want to get some I think I want to get a little bit more basic with it, just for now, and then we can probably go back and implement that. And then you got the search notes. I can add that. Like, we can like spice it up a little bit and add some of those. Not bloat this area up, but maybe add like a search feature in this area. That way we don't have to access it from this sidebar that I don't want. And then we could put the new button um, somewhere on the side panel here where it's like visible. But we'll work on that layout once we get into the next video. In the next video, we'll start getting our tools ready and start working on the layout. But right now, I just want to go over some of the things we're going to be doing, and then some of the tools that we're going to be using. I like to, for the design purposes, I'm not a designer. To remind you, I'm not a designer. Um, I'm more of a logic person. I like the actual code. I'm really not that great with I mean, I know how CSS, but it's not it's not my forte, I should say. So I'm gonna use like a CSS framework. Um, I should probably go with what I know. I know Materialize CSS to have like that Google feel. There's Bootstrap. There's Bootstrap. I didn't want to do Bootstrap because Bootstrap it just doesn't look nice to me. It doesn't look like, because to me you rarely see websites that have like a Bootstrap type look to it. I rarely see that. You might come across it, but I haven't come across it. And I just don't like the way the layouts or the components look. It just looks kind of weird. But you'll see a lot of websites that have a Google type look to it using Materialize or Material UI in our case, because that's the JavaScript version. Material. Got Materialize CSS, which is what I've been using for static websites. I haven't used it for web apps, the one that we're building. I only use it for static sites. But for web apps, we can use Material UI for React specifically. And those, that's it's like the Material UI is a package that's based upon React and putting Materialize and React together. That's Material UI is like based upon that, putting them together, putting them together. Yeah. So I could use that. I'm not that familiar with it because it seems like a lot of code you got to use for just like one thing you want to do. So, you know, from what I looked at, the documentation, it just seems like a lot of code to do one thing, to accomplish one thing. So we might use then it's systematic. I think I'm saying that wrong. I can't pronounce that word. I'm stupid. Um, Symptomatic UI. I could be saying it wrong, but yeah, this one. I'm sorry. I have not used this one before because I think the last time I tried to use it, I was getting an error because you gotta have like Grunt installed. It was giving me an error that you have to have Grunt installed, which is probably true. But even when I still try to download it, it was saying that my Grunt or I don't have Grunt installed, and I didn't want to go through that process of installing Grunt just to install this. And I'm like, it's too much installing packages. And I was just like, nah, But even though the layout of it looks fantastic, though, that's what sucked. Because I was like, the layout looks really good. Like, the images here, they look good. They have, like, all different types of components and whatnot that actually look really good in UI. Like, it looks fantastic. Now, let me go with a component. Let's show you what it looks like. They got like a card component, which looks really good. They have like a media. I think they have a media section where it has all types of media components that you would see on social media. Yeah, like a search bar or something. Yeah, the state to the search bar. Where are the pictures? What are these pictures of these search bars? Or am I tripping? Did they show it? Oh, sidebar. Sorry, I thought it said search bar. Let's say, like, where is it? Oh yeah, the card. Okay, let's go to card. You know, even the cards look pretty darn good. See that's what a what is that? A Twitter card would look like. They got social media type cards and components on here that you can use for like the social media part, but of course social media isn't going to be in ours. Like I said, I tried downloading it. I tried installing it, but it was still acting janky. We can still see if we can install it again once we get to episode 2 of it. But if not, we can use I never tried. We can either use material. We can either break down and use Material UI or Tailwind, because I never did Tailwind, and I've heard a lot of great things about Tailwind. Right? So so we'll say CSS framework. We can use Material. Or Tailwind. Okay. Now for our UI, if we wanna start mocking up, that sounds weird. If we want to use the UI to a design software to use to get what our UI looks like, we could use Balsamic, but I've been actually using Figma. Figma is like another software that designers use to get like real fancy, but we're not gonna get real fancy on it, nothing like that. But I have used it in my previous, like months ago. I used it for projects that I was doing. If I wanted to get a quick design thinking process going, I'd whip up something real quick. For example, there's a book app I did, and I whipped up the design. Yes, it looks horrible because I'm not a designer, but I was more so focused on the functionality and not the design. So that was just like a quick mock-up. I did a lot of quick mock-ups for apps that I was doing. What is this? I did one like this. It's supposed to be like a social media type feed in like a Google version and all that stuff. So this is where we'll go to create our layout for our EverNote like book app. Like, I'll call it an EverNote clone. For our EverNote clone, this is what we'll use to put our designs together. So let me mark that in there. Design layout, Figma. Yeah, So that's the one I know. So that's why I go with that one. So also the tools that we're going to be using for searching. So like I said, I don't really know GraphQL that well. So there's some websites that I'm going to have to research to learn about that. So one I had in mind was Tutorials Point. I don't know if you heard of that, heard of their website, but they have some really good good documentation on any type of programming language you're looking for. They have all types, you know. They even got Swift 4. I didn't even know they had that on there. Got React. They got tons more, and it's like they keep adding stuff as they keep doing their their documentation on it. So you got the latest technologies, machine learning. I always thought about learning machine learning. Gotta take a look at that. The computer science area, web development area, which is the area that we're most likely are going to be looking in. Um, Wait, probably not web development. Probably like databases. I don't think. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, they got MongoDB. SQL, I wanted to learn that. Okay, let's see. And then they should have. Wait, GraphQL is not a database, is it? So it's not in the databases area. Let me just type it in. Let me type in GraphQL. See if something pops up with that. Oh, Sugar Daddy. I didn't even know I was going to do that. Alright, cool. I don't know what area it was in, but this is one of the tutorials we can use to look up on GraphQL. Another great website. Another great one. Let me pull up another fantastic one. And you can probably guess who it is. Yes. My main man, Flavio Copes. I still might be saying his name wrong. I'm sorry. And then, because he has a bunch of tutorials on different programming languages of all kinds, you know. It's not just, you know, just programming languages. He has books and whole tons of tutorials on different kinds. Mostly in JavaScript, I noticed. Okay, yeah. Mostly in JavaScript because he loves JavaScript. But yeah, this is another great place to learn about GraphQL or any other language that we're trying to learn. I know a little bit of Node, just enough to start the server. I couldn't know deeper, but I don't know if it's really required for this type of tutorial that I'm doing. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. GraphQL, Flavio, um, and tutorials point, and of course, I should have included this firsthand, but of course, the documentation on GraphQL, because you're gonna have to learn to start reading the documentation on languages and frameworks and all that stuff, because that's gonna be like the need to go to is to learn the documentation. So yeah, so these three right here is what I'm going to be going to learn. I'll probably bounce off all three of them to know to get a good grasp of what's going on. But you know, Flavio is so good, I might not need to bounce around. I could just get all the information I need from his site. I see a lot of good content. Yeah. All right. So yeah, those are the three. that we're going to be using to research. The technologies that we're going to be using, of course, is React. React is one of them. React. Um, I'm pretty sure like half of you already know what React is or know the basis of React to build like a simple app. So we're gonna be using React. You might use the new React hooks. No, wait. I don't know if you can use that and then turn around and use no, because if you use React hooks, you have all your state in your inside of your app, so you won't have to use nothing like Redux or nothing like that. I'll eventually make a tutorial on Redux because it's kind of confusing, but if you find the right tutorials, you can learn Redux. Yeah, so React, GraphQL, possibly implement React hooks in React, possibly implement that. GraphQL, Node and Express. Let me write these things down. Tech stack here, so we're going to be using React, GraphQL. Spell that right? Nope. GraphQL, Node / Express, Apollo, which I know Apollo is, I think Apollo is like the client side, where you can make a fetch to the client side. I think that's what Apollo is. So I think that's on the client, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, it'll become clear once I start looking at the documentation, all that stuff, or looking at Flavio's documentation he did. It's Apollo. What else? The database, right? So for the database, we can use MongoDB because that's the one I got now, and I sort of kind of know a little bit about MongoDB. I mean, in my previous tutorials, I was well, not tutorials, but in the previous videos that I was making, um, I was using MLab, and I know a lot of people were converting to MongoDB because MLab was gonna eventually just be regular MongoDB. So I didn't really do a project with MongoDB. I always did it with MLab. So that'll be another good challenge for me to learn how to do that, and implement that. So we're gonna use that for the for the database. Node and Express for the server. Apollo on the client side. Instead of REST, we're using GraphQL, and then React on the client side. Yes. All right. So that's the tech stack we're going to be working with, and we're going to be, learning as we go, because half of this I'm not that great with, but we're going to get it together. Um, so that's what I plan on doing. So that's the things that we're gonna use throughout our project. And in the next episode, I'll confirm if I want to use Material UI or Tailwind. So I'll finally come to a decision when I do episode 2 of this. And why does it say Figma, and we'll get into that, all that good stuff, and all the mapping out. That's another one I learned from Flavio, that he did like a mind map thing to highlight the key concepts and everything like that. I want to do something similar to that. I'll probably just make like a list out of it though. Split up to categories and make a list. Yeah, so I want to like highlight, um, highlight key, no, highlight key, highlight key concepts. I can use, I can actually use EverNote for that. EverNote, I might use EverNote for that. Question mark. I thought I was gonna, I forgot. EverNote, question mark. Alright, so those are the things that I want to do for the next episode. And I'll probably make one right after this one. Because, you know, I got time. I got nothing but time. So, yeah, that's a rundown of what I want to do. Small little recap. We're going to, in the next one, well, in this one, we were just planning it out. We were just talking about what we want to build. We want to build a EverNote app, like an EverNote clone, basically. And then some of the tools that we're going to be using to help us build this out. Some of the framework, the CSS frameworks, Material UI or Tailwind. I'll figure out which one I want to do. We're going to use Figma for the design layout. So we're going to structure it out, get the UI down, and see what the UI will look like for each page. When it looks like it has 2 pages. It has this page and then the login and sign up page. All that stuff. Oh, sorry. We're going to do all that stuff, get that design down. And then the tech stack that we're going to be working with is React on the client side, GraphQL to replace REST, GraphQL API basically. So let me put that in there so it doesn't confuse you. API. Node Express for the server, Apollo on the client side of React. That way we can make the requests. MongoDB for our database. And we're probably going to be using EverNote to jot down some of our key concepts of the whole app and what functionalities each page, each component is going to have, and each features and whatnot. So let me put in features as well. /features. So that's what we covered here, and we're going to be working on getting all that started in the next one. So I will see you guys in the next video.